All right, welcome to Grade 9 Maths Lesson 3, loadings and bonuses we're talking about today. All right, don't forget the last two videos I've spoken about the real world homework. Don't gloss over it, guys. It is your money that you will get in superannuation, so I suggest you get on with it. All right, note the little smart tip down the bottom here. 1% difference in fees could be a 20% difference in 30 years' time. If you pay 1% fees for your superannuation versus 2% fees, if your final balance ends up to be $1 million, all right, it could be a 20% difference. So it could be the difference between retiring it with $1 million and $1.2 million. All right, is that extra $200,000 useful? Quite possibly. That's why you need to educate yourself. Find out what fees are as a percentage and a dollar amount. If your fees are sort of 3% or more, it's probably getting you a little bit on the high end. All right, there's an example there about that sort of thing. She changes from a super fund where she was charged 2.5%, she gets charged 1%. This is partway through her career. Okay, so the difference in what she's paying in fees makes a big difference, because when she retires, what is it? She has, in this scenario, $81,000 more money in her superannuation just by making the change. Is that worth your while? I think $81,000 is a significant amount of money for most people. Probably worth your while doing. All right, so today we're up to 11.6. Let's get going. Loadings and bonuses. Okay, there's a couple of memes there you can pause the video and watch, but we're going to have a look at this stuff as a bit of minimum today. So we're going to calculate loadings and bonuses. So when you work overtime and get bonuses paid to you, you know what you're going to get paid and you don't get ripped off. So loadings. If a wage or salary earner has to work in difficult or hazardous conditions, then the worker may be granted an extra payment, or loading we call it. Most workers are granted holiday loading in Australia. So for example, you get usually 4 weeks holiday, you get 17.5% loading on top of your normal wage in that period. It's meant to be a rule that was brought in years ago to make up for the fact that you can't earn overtime whilst you're on holidays. Let's have a look at an example. Rowan works as an electrician. He gets $38.20 per hour for a 36-hour week because that's his rules. If Rowan works at heights, all right, like this lady over on the right-hand side there, he gets $2.50 per hour height loading. He gets an extra $2.50 an hour. So if he works 15 hours at heights, what does he get? Notice I've underlined the important bits. So his normal wage, he works the 36-hour normal week, it says. His normal rate of pay is $38.20. Plug that into your calculator, $1,375.20. He gets, then we've got to work out his loading. He works 15 hours and he gets a bonus $2.50 per hour. 15 times 2.5 is $37.50. These are all dollars, so put dollars in there. This figure we add with this figure down here to find out what he earns. He doesn't earn his normal salary of $1,300. He gets just over $1,400. Okay, and dollars. It's that. That's all we've got to do. Elena works as a hairdresser and is paid $19.70 per hour. Another important number there. Normal 38-hour week. Righto, so A, calculate the weekly wage. 38 hours times her hourly rate, $748 is what she earns. Part B, for her 4 weeks annual leave, she gets a loading of 17.5%. Calculate the amount she receives in holiday loading. So she gets 17.5% of 748,000. Like I told you last time, 17.5 over 100 is the percentage, of is times, and the amount she gets, $748.60. Plug it into your calculator, 17.5 divided by 100 times 748 is an extra $131.01 she gets in holiday loading. She gets that for 4 weeks of holidays, so multiplied by 4 is $524. So her holiday pay, oh sorry, that's part B, that's her holiday loading. What is the holiday loading? It is simply this figure here. Part C says, what does she get paid for her 4 weeks leave? Well, She gets 4 times her normal weekly wage. Work that out first. Then you plus on the loading. She gets $3,500 for her loading. And I'd hope your clients don't wait until they're that hairy when they come back if you're a hairdresser. Bonuses. Many people who are employed in sometimes managerial positions get a bonus if the company does certain performance targets. Often bank workers and so on get paid bonuses for reaching certain levels of performance. Sometimes a percentage of your annual salary or a percentage of the profit or whatever. Let's have a look. Brooke's a chief executive officer in a fashion company. She gets this tiny little salary of $240,000 every year. She gets a bonus 1% on top of her salary for every percentage point she increases the company's profit. So if the company's profit grows from 3.1 to 4.4, what is her bonus? So we need to know how much it's gone up by. Okay, and that's what we're going to think. First thing we need to know is how much did the company's profit go up by? Well, it ended up here. It started off there. What's the difference? The company's profit went up by $1.3 million. All right, and that's what she's responsible for as the chief executive officer. But we need to know what this is as a percentage. We started off at 3.1 million. The increase was 1.3 million. So write it as a fraction. We've got 1.3 divided by the amount it went up divided by what it started as. 1.3 divided by 3.1 multiplied by 100 gives us a percentage. So the company's profit went up 41.9%. So that's significant. So she gets 1% of her salary for every percentage point that it increases. So her bonus is going to be 41.9% of her salary. How do I rewrite that? 41.9 divided by 100 times her salary. Plug that into your calculator, she gets an extra $100,000 for having that increase. So of the extra $1.3 million that the profit went up, she gets $100,000 of it. Pays to be a CEO. Have a quick break if you like. Let's get going. So that's most of the loadings and bonuses stuff. Have a look at some of those exercises. Generally, as a minimum, try to aim for that level. If you're doing well, plug on to the harder questions. Thanks for coming.